It's like what happened if the
fake
kitty cat was like rubbing up on the microphone.
Was a podcaster.
Did you start?
You're great.
You're kind of okay.
Is this going?
I started it. Yeah, I started it while we were rubbing our beards.
Corey, you're great. I can say that. Stop
Corey,
fucking
you're great.
rubbing your face on the microphone.
I'm a
Thank you.
kitty cat. You're
You
great,
guys
Corey.
You guys are. You guys are great.
Thank
Oh,
There's
nice.
a little hesitation
The
there, but I
best.
appreciate
Well,
it.
I almost said the best.
I felt like it was like a stuttering
But
of
I felt
excitement.
I felt like I was supposed to use the word great.
Second best
You can use
podcast
great.
in Seattle. we've
Second
heard.
best podcast in Seattle. What's the first one?
Somebody
Savage
was
Love.
talking shit.
Probably Savage Love. That
Is that a
guy's
real
great.
thing?
I don't know what
Yeah,
that is.
Savage Love. It's us. Dan Savage's
Oh, I
podcast
know.
about
Okay.
sex
He
and
is.
love and
Oh.
peace and
Is that-
relationships.
Well, what a lucky last name he
Cool.
got.
Yeah.
So,
Fun.
it's not as good as Coletta
Savage
Love.
hugs.
Savage hugs. Coletta Love. No one wants that.
Is that true?
What?
Is that true?
No one wants Coletta Love?
Yeah.
That's not true.
Oh, okay.
I'm just lying for
Good.
the sake of effect.
For
Yeah.
the sake of effect.
Sure, I'll find a dog or
Hey,
cat
Mike,
that loves me.
you're
Hey, what's
great.
up? You're great.
But I want to. You're great.
You're great.
You're great.
Hey everyone,
game?
welcome to the Hug Life podcast. We gotta always
Yes.
start it out.
Do
The
I have to
sound
take a
sounds
shot
great.
every time you guys say you're great? 'Cause
Uh,
that's what
It
I've
is a
been
drinking
doing.
game.
Yeah, you're
That's
gonna
what
get
I've been drinking. Corey
Corey's
is
gonna
already
get
drunk.
ham-boned. Welcome to the show. Let's plug our shows up top. I'm not prepared at all for this. Monica, you seem prepared though.
I seem prepared.
Yeah, to plug your shows of what you're doing this week.
Okay, well, I am Monica Nevi. That's an important part. We
I'm
have a
Mike
guest
Letta.
with us. His name is Cory Michaelis.
Hi,
Yay.
everybody. Hello.
Hello,
Okay.
Corey.
But now we're going to plug our shows.
Do you have shows to plug, Corey?
Yeah. Well.
You can grab your phone if you want to look at your phone. That's what I'm
maybe
doing.
Monica can. Is that what everybody's doing?
That's what everyone's doing.
No,
Monica
I
said she's ready. I think.
yeah, I
Everybody's
got it.
doing it.
Tomorrow night, Thursday, the 4th, I will be at the Seattle Comedy Underground doing the big show for the UW class. Corey will be there also.
Yes, I will.
Yes, and then Friday, super secret. Seattle Super Secret stand-up show, Atlas Theater, Fremont, midnight, $5. It's going to be great. Adam Norwest is closing it out. Got some fun people stopping by.
Scott Lossie's going to be there.
I made posters.
Rachel Walls is going to be there.
They're really cool.
You guys
Anthony
are saying a
Calderon's
lot
gonna
of
be there.
information about it for a
Yeah.
super secret.
Oh, yeah. No one's going to
We
be
say
there.
it
You don't
really
know who's going to
fast
be
on a
there.
podcast that only a few people listen to.
When does this release? When does this happen?
Wednesday.
This comes
Wednesday.
out Wednesday. Probably
like
actually
tomorrow?
tonight. Probably late
Oh, wow.
tonight, too.
Yes.
Oh wow.
I sometimes post them tonight
Well
so I
done.
don't forget.
I
do that every
My
time.
calendar is so funny because everything in my life. I don't know if you guys do that. I do everything.
Does it just say like sex,
It's
sex,
just
sex,
Jesus.
sex, sex?
No, it
My
says
birthday. Forgot about
My birthday
that.
sex.
My birthday was yesterday.
Yeah,
Happy
we know.
birthday!
I
Thank
was going to
you.
bring
Yeah.
it up.
You made the
Oh.
Mariners lose with your birthday.
I know. Felix got rocked.
I brought you a
don't
donut.
know how that. Oh, that. Thank you.
And it has birthday sprinkles on it.
Oh,
That are now
why-
stuck to the back.
is that- I was so. I have the staff versus student basketball game Friday
I
night.
was going to say I have a
You're gonna do
staff
that?
meeting tomorrow.
Dude, is the staff versus
Staff
student
infection,
basketball game pretty intense? It seems like it would be.
We purposely make it chill for the first 3 quarters and then intense in the fourth quarter.
And then it gets
sort of
crazy.
all-star game type.
We
in the
never
first 3
did
quarter in
basketball. We
terms
did
of-
dodgeball.
Oh, that's fun.
It was really
Dodgeball's
fun.
a
That's
good
really
one.
fun.
Yeah.
We do fundraisers. This one's seniors. They're graduating versus staff. It's really fun.
Did you say seniors that are
senior
graduating?
ball.
Like, if you're not graduating, you can't
play.
fucking
That's
play.
actually-
Like, those are all the good players.
If there's a shorter senior class, are you guys really
Oh,
excited because they
man.
get their asses kicked in basketball? Like
That's
a
right.
shorter class?
Well, we're actually just talking about how we hope
Short class?
we were hoping that because they do a whole thing where you have to show up at 6:30 in the morning to sign up to play if you're a student.
Wow.
They only want 15 players, and so you got to care
All
about
the
it.
kids that aren't
And
graduating
so,
don't
like,
show up.
Yeah,
Got
so
it.
it's like my friend and I were a couple kids didn't make it that early, and we were pretty we want it to be a good game. Like it's more fun when the
right.
best players play and everybody's
Because you're like, we're going to wipe the floor with you guys.
I would rather wipe the floor with the best players.
So people are like, oh, he's
But
really is really
we
talented.
have 3 in a row, 3
athletically.
wins in a row.
Yeah.
Really?
So,
3 years in a row?
Yeah.
We
Is
did
this-
it in college. I couldn't play, but the actual players would ref,
Okay.
and then it would be some of our coaches would play though, and a lot of our coaches were like former WNBA,
yeah,
NBA
right.
type of players,
Right.
and it was a mess.
Damn.
I'm chaperoning senior ball on Saturday.
I want all your school plugs.
I want to hear some chaperone
I'm
stories.
taking the weekend off from comedy and doing those 2 things. But I'll take a couple shows, and then I'll be happy to share senior ball or prom. Next Thursday, I'm at Peebo's. These are North End things, so Peebo's Pub with John Slayton.
Ooh, the pit bull of comedy.
And
that's Bobby Slayton.
Bobby Slayton.
I wonder how often that happens.
That's so awesome. We have to tell John Slayton.
The pit bull of comedy.
Pit bull of producing.
No, he's
not the pit bull of comedy.
He's a teacup Yorkshire Terrier of comedy.
The poodle
John
of comedy.
Slayton.
That's great.
I
Peebo's.
don't know if I want to talk about that. Okay, we'll maybe talk about John Slayton. And then the 14th of June, a Sunday, I have a show called Everett Comedy Night that is in Everett.
And it's a comedy night?
And it's Colin Moulton. Yeah, it's comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Colin Moulton's
Colin Moulton.
fantastic.
He's
at
amazing.
TCC, and I'll be hosting for him before that. So
That's
there
great.
you go. That'll be
Oh,
fun.
my goodness.
Club
Everything
all weekend
connects
before
together.
that, which is he's so good, and we're very
He's really
lucky
good.
Yes, I'm excited.
because I've had some help from Tacoma Comedy Club in booking some of my shows. So appreciative of, because we're getting great comics to come up to Everett, and so yeah, we're doing that on the 14th, and then other stuff
check
probably
that
after that. But senior ball, is that what we were? I don't know.
Well,
if
do
senior
you have
ball's that
Twitter? You
interesting,
have
but,
Twitter, right?
At Mr. just Mr. Cory Michaelis.
At Mr.
Michelis.
AELIS.
Oh, no.
Michael with an IS on
Michael
the end.
is.
Yeah, Michael
Michael
is. And then people are like, well, how do you
is
spell
Cory.
Michael? And I'm like, well,
Your name.
I don't know what to do for you now.
Michael.
That way a lot of times.
I should know that.
Isn't that your
You
name?
should know that.
That's my name.
I should know that. You should have said I do know that.
Monica, what you doing right now?
Right
and then
now?
this weekend?
Didn't I already say that?
Oh, you already did yours?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. I will be at the Super Secret
You
Show
should
on,
be
on
fucking
Friday.
sorry. What the hell was that?
You know how secret the Super
Well, I
Secret
have
Show is?
a end of the year staff event on Friday night if we're gonna go through all
We're going to
that.
do
Dude,
staff meetings.
I don't have any work-related things to book. I feel so sad.
Any shows or any work related meetings.
I'm going to be at the Seattle Super Secret stand-up show. It's such a secret it wasn't in my phone until just now. And then Saturday, I'm going to be at the Easy Monkey Tap House in Shoreline. And then on Wednesday, a week after this drops, I will be at the Seven Cedars Casino in Squim. Where are my Squimmies at? I don't know if that's
Yeah.
what they call themselves.
Squimmies? Probably not.
Squimmites? Squimisons.
I don't know who would pick that nickname. But
Squimikins.
Swim together.
Squim.
Reminds me of Rodney Sherwood's joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need a sample of your squim. and then I'm in Medford, Oregon the weekend after that. And I hope something weird happens to me because it seems to always happen there.
Oh, Medford, yeah.
Medford's
weird.
Weird things
Drunk
happen.
Johnny, man, look for him. I'm
Drunk
telling
Johnny?
You got to go in the middle of the day. He'll probably be at the bar.
People asking you if you like meth. That
It was
happens.
heroin. But,
Oh, sorry about that. And Monica gets
Medford.
offered 3 ways all the time.
Medford.
Medford.
That's a
Medford.
good one.
Wait, what?
Monica always gets asked if she would like to participate in a 3-way. That happened in Medford twice in the same night, right?
Yes, and then 3 times in Enumclaw in the same night.
Really?
Yeah, she
I was
gets that a
really
lot.
tired afterwards. No,
Do you get that? Have you ever gotten that before?
Just recently.
Really?
sex with us,
Dude, girl, dude.
Oh, lady.
Lady.
Was the offer? The it's not an offer. I don't think I was the main.
You were on. You were first in
It was
line.
necessary.
There
to
was
make
no
it.
Oh, were
system.
you just
So,
involved?
but I did not. I have not, or did not. I don't
You
know.
did not say yes.
Was it after a
Nothing's-
show?
Spoken
No.
like a man who did it.
No, okay. It's just
I'm just trying to be
No, I
like,
did not.
welcome to the hot seat, Corey.
Come on.
asking that.
No, I did not.
8,000
I'm
questions.
curious. So this is 4 times we're talking about recently.
5 within the last
5. It happened
3
when we
months,
were
6
doing a
months.
show together recently, like last weekend. It happened after the roast. Roast?
Oh yeah,
What happened
it
after the
did.
roast?
How do people?
It's usually
broach that
a
subject?
married couple that will come up and
Yes.
one of them comes up separately and then just says, "Oh, you were so funny. We really liked you." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "We?" And they're like, "Yeah, my wife really liked you, or my husband really liked." Blah, blah,
Right.
blah." And then it's usually some weird, like they slip it in, you know, because I'm like, that's
They slip it in.
I don't even know it happened.
I hope
No,
not.
How did this happen? Oh, man.
Well, I guess
So
they
they're like,
did
"Oh,
have
thanks for
this.
coming. You guys should, follow me on Facebook.
Yeah.
Or
Thanks
come
for
see
coming.
me again." That
Yeah.
type of thing. And then they're like, "Well, what are you doing later?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know.
And you should be like, not you guys.
Laundry." And then eventually they just ask. They say,
But not-
"We think you should come with us." I don't like it when they say us. Like, Can we have sex with us? It's such a weird question.
Want to have sex with us? Where we
Rarely
duct tape
do I
ourselves
even hear
together
want to
and
have
make the
sex
party
with
started?
me.
Does this happen to?
This has never
All
happened to
female
me. You're looking at me.
I don't know. I know,
don't know.
but
I've
Jimmy
never
Dore
heard
has a
this.
joke about
We should do a poll.
a couple doing that to him. I know that it's
Dude.
happened to other comedians. Jackie
Dude.
Cation has a joke about it.
Okay.
Like
We should
I think it's
call-
just like a couple.
We should
Couples,
call
yeah.
Kelsey Cook. We should figure out a way to have phones on the podcast, and I should call. We should just call Kelsey and ask her if it's ever happened before. Just
I
without
tried to
telling
text
her in ahead of
and she
time.
didn't answer, so she's a bitch.
Oh, never mind. You're off the friend list. Gonna delete your episode, Kelsey. Yeah, you done got baked.
Now there's not. Now we have a different scenario. I mean, married.
Well,
or
I
dating
don't
couples.
get sex offers ever. Now you
I don't.
all the time.
I don't get offers.
And people just come
3
up and
times since
offer
you've been
you. Just put their wiener on the table.
They put their wiener on the table like the old west. That's how they used to do
Here's
it.
the
Yeah,
offer.
you were really funny. Bam.
What do you think?
Lay in some pipe.
Like the Old West?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Offers.
Did that
I'm
happen
pretty
then?
sure in the show
I'm
Deadwood, some guy put his dick on the table.
I'm pretty
Deadwood.
sure they used to
Deadwood.
do
Jeez.
that.
Some
It's
sort of
dead.
Flaccid penises. My mom listens to this show. Anywhoozle. Y'all don't forget to rate and review and subscribe to us on iTunes. That makes me feel great.
We're done with couples.
We have a Facebook group. We have Twitters at me Coletta, at Monica Nevi, at Mr. Cory Michaelis, Michaelis.
Boom.
And then we're on Stitcher, and then there's huglifepodcast@gmail.com. We always forget about that. People don't email us that often, but they should.
Yeah.
You know?
Tell us about your charities or whatever.
Tell us about your
Or
charities.
just send my
Ask
pictures
us-
of your boobs or something.
And ask us how many... Dude, did you guys see the new boob thing? That
What's-
sounds awkward.
There's a
What's
new
that?
boob thing?
No. What
This,
does that
was,
mean?
this
What was
wasn't
the
a
old
topic, but
boob
it should have
thing?
been a topic. The new boob thing on Instagram is to take a picture with a can of Coke between your boobs for breast cancer. Have you seen this?
Oh, no.
I am very supportive of this charity.
You don't even have Instagram.
I don't. I saw it on Facebook, and then it said it's a new craze on Instagram.
I didn't know that was an Instagram thing. I didn't watch. It was like a video.
Yeah.
But I didn't watch the video.
There's a, well,
but
it's
I
a
saw
it's
it.
an Instagram
Showed my feed a few
hashtag.
times.
Just
Have
a
Coke
hashtag
between your.
new
It's
boob
like
thing?
hashtag Coke between boob. I'm gonna figure this out right now.
That's a
Oh,
long.
God.
That's a long
Yeah, hashtag put
But,
a
I mean, if it has
Coca-Cola
boobs in it, I think
between
it's
your
memorable.
boobs.
Yeah, it's.
Have you taken a photo like that yet?
I haven't. Oh, it's hashtag hold a Coke with your boobs challenge.
It's really long too. Challenge. So
It
you have to
is.
do it like
The
without
challenge, but the best
holding
part is, yeah, there's dudes that are definitely just covering themselves in Scotch tape to hold up a can of Coke, which
That's
makes me
pretty
laugh
funny.
too.
it. Wouldn't that hurt
funny.
your
Yeah.
These
Hairy?
dudes
Your
don't
hair.
have chest. I mean, I haven't done it. Should I do it?
Yeah.
Right
Should I
now.
just be the cover of this podcast?
Let's just do it with duct tape.
So
though.
they do. So it's like, they flip it over, or do they double-sided tape it?
This is really, really
We're
interested
getting
in the math
really into this
about
right now. The thing
how
is-
to hold a can between your
Yeah,
boobs.
I know. It's just it's a.
So-
also been criticized.
The ladies who've been participating, are they wearing any?
Usually
bra?
they're wearing that their boobs are open, but they cover their nipples. That's usually, or
See,
there's
I think that would
pasties.
make it harder. I guess you'd have to have big
But
enough
there's been
boobs to
some
do that.
there's been some people firing back about it because apparently
People
Say
getting
fired.
fired.
people
Just
they say it's like
we saw your
taking
Coke picture.
taking breast cancer lightly and making it fun. But I'm like, yeah, there's a video of like Kate Upton holding a Coke glass, but she's wearing a dress.
Well, she's. Yeah.
And I'm just looking.
Why are you only looking at this?
There's a Russian girl. You want to look at the Russian? Come over here. Lean over.
And then he
girl
puts
there.
Corey's face in his boobs. He tricked him.
Yeah, she looks like she's a bodybuilder and she's like flexing. You know what I mean? It's all
She
in
just
Russian. That's why I know
breaks
she's
the-
Russian.
breaks, pops the can open.
Yeah.
No, the Kate Upton one.
The best is sometimes the Coke cans say things like bestie and stuff. That's funny.
Breasty,
Breasty. Boom.
my breast friend.
Professional
favorite.
comedian.
Thank you.
Pal.
Killing it. Tater tits. I've been working on all these.
Tater
Tweeted that
tits.
the other day. That was it.
But yeah.
Oh man.
You guys haven't heard that? I'm really happy about it.
That's cool.
I'm really. There's good news stories.
good news
People
story.
are putting Coke cans between their tits.
Well, this lady actually is very. She's got a bottle between her boobs and it just sits there. I don't know how that works physically. Physically. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So there's people. Yeah, there's people saying that it's trivializing.
It's trivializing it, yeah. Which I don't know. I'm like anything that raises money, right?
These people don't have breast cancer, presumably.
No.
Or didn't. So maybe that's one of those things of
I
like,
was
if you're
gonna-
not of the group, then maybe
I think
you
it's
shouldn't be
supposed to
goofing
be
around
a
about it.
reminder
Right.
to like check your boobs
Yeah.
for breast
Your boobs
cancer.
for Coke cans. They could be just in there.
Sometimes
You never
I
know.
I
go
thought
to
I had
sleep.
breast cancer,
You
you
find
guys.
stuff
But it
that
turned
has
out
some-
it was just
it
a
was
Coke
just a
can.
Coke can.
Sometimes I go to sleep and I'm just like, I can't lay on my stomach for some reason. It really hurts. And I'm like, oh, there's a Coke can in my boob.
Coke can in
You
my
just
tits.
I'm
lose.
just like, oh man, I
You
just
just
cracked
lose
it open.
Not
snacks within your
again.
body
It's
like-
during the
Yeah, I
day.
just leave them.
You're gonna wake up with a donut.
I will wake up with a donut.
Yeah.
Sounds like a dream come true. You guys want to hear a good news story that's related to Cory Michaelis before we really dive into the workings of Cory Michaelis? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Yes,
Go.
we do.
High school seniors sacrifice class trip to donate to principal's cancer care.
Oh, jeez, man.
Doesn't
I
that
think
sound
can
nice?
can you read that one more time, but not like that?
High school seniors sacrifice class trip to donate to principal's cancer care. So she is diagnosed with cancer, and then her students give up their $8,000 they raised for senior class trip and give it all to her treatment. And then she starts crying, and then I start crying.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful thing, right?
Yeah.
It's all. I'm worried that why does she have such poor insurance that?
That is a good
Are you,
question.
are
Like
you
she
saying
should
that? Do
have
teachers
really-
have good insurance?
Yeah,
Cory?
we have typically really great health plans.
Oh, really?
But
That's good. It's one of the selling points. Like, you're not going to make any money,
Yeah,
but
people
we
talk
have good
about
benefits.
Great benefits.
Yeah.
And I'm nervous about that because I will say here for the first time publicly that I'm taking a year off next year.
Yay!
Big
Oh.
Mike
Announced
drop
on
announcement.
Hugflection.
What?
Boom!
Don't
Don't
drop your
drop
mic.
it announcements. Drop it announcements. The Coke can
You
fell
heard
out of
it
my
here
boobs.
first.
I
And
got
the reason
so
I feel
excited.
comfortable announcing it here is because nobody will hear it, and
That's very true. Because there's a
Well,
Coke-
now both of our moms know. So
I was-
there you go.
Jackie, Pam, don't tell anybody.
I honestly am nervous about sharing it because I haven't told my student. Like I have that group of students that I keep for 4 years.
Oh, actually, high school students really love our podcast. Not gonna
well,
lie.
then
so.
I'm screwed.
No.
That's true. They do.
Only from Auburn, though. So
Oh, we're good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
Go Ravens.
So yeah, I nervously and anxiously told my principal today that I'm going to do that, and
We told him
then
today.
talk
Her.
to
So how often do you get a
the
year off?
district folks.
Is it
and-
once in a lifetime you get a year off?
That's a great question, actually. I don't know about that part, but we definitely are allowed to request a year leave without pay and then come back after that year if whatever we were doing, if we want to.
and you're doing
I'm
it. So when
gonna
does it
do
start?
That's awesome.
So
That's actually.
the pay will stop at the end of the summer, and the health insurance will stop at the end of the summer, and the
better
yeah,
get
And you
sick now.
commence pimping all over the world.
and then
As Jay-Z
yeah,
once
what's your
said.
plans there?
The
Are you allowed
the
to
official
talk about
is I mean I think that I don't know. I like there is no plan. I'm a big fan of that because if you have like a rigid plan, then you put blinders on and you miss cool
If
opportunities.
you have a plan, then things can
And
go
I
wrong.
suspect-
Yeah, very good.
Right.
That's
That's
good.
really fun.
I like that.
So I don't have a specific I know that I'm going to do this. I think it's going to be some sort of combination of substitute teaching to sort of eat food and
Food's good.
Yeah, food is good.
try and work on an inspirational speaking.
Yeah, I heard
uh,
that you are interested in that, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I've done it a couple times and it's gone okay for just having done it a couple times, and I think that's a good marriage of working with kids still and then trying to be funny.
Right.
And I worked with Bobby Lee this last weekend at the parlor, and he's like, "So you got big plans to become rich and famous and super successful in
Big
comedy?" And I was like,
dick.
"I don't."
And you were
know."
like, bang headliners. Pants came off. Is that
And
what
Bobby
happened?
didn't have any pants on
Yeah,
already,
I-
so it worked out.
Yeah, Bobby Lee was already
And
naked.
Bobby Lee,
for
that's
sure.
what I was only saying that because I saw a Snapchat of you and it was just him naked, cross-legged on a stool. I'm like, that's what I've heard
That
Bobby
was-
Lee weekends
Yeah,
are like.
every time.
That is what it is,
That's
and
funny.
it was all weekend, and this very cool and nice girlfriend, and no, they're great. But I was sort of like,
Now you're getting it.
I'm not. No, I don't think so. And he was kind of confused, but he was like, "Well, you're an anomaly if you don't. That's not aren't you addicted to this? And aren't you?" And I felt a little bit not judged, but I felt anxious talking to him about it. Like, I don't want to be that guy that's like, "Well, I do comedy for a hobby, but I really have this other thing," because some people judge that in the comedy world.
People are very
So-
judgmental.
Yeah, comedians are assholes.
But I don't think that isn't the truth. That isn't true anyway. I just don't necessarily see myself being on the road and
think
Right, doing all that
pursuing
stuff.
comedy as my main and only thing. I think I'll have my
You have
what do they
multiple
say? A
things.
lot of hats. You wear a lot of hats. Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
irons and a lot of fires. Is that a
Irons and fires is a
that a
thing.
thing?
Yeah.
is that what
Hats
I'm
and
is that what I'm
fires,
talking
whatever.
about?
Hats on fire.
Got a
is
lot
a
of hats
thing.
on fire.
Doing a lot of different things.
Yeah, no, I
don't have
agree
to
that there
use
is
it.
a limit to like how addicted you can be to like. I'm not addicted to stand up that I have to go up every night, but I am addicted enough that if I don't go on in like a week, it drives me crazy. Like that's.
Oh yeah.
I think like it's varying degrees of it.
But
you know
I
what
think
mean?
the thing that people forget is that you still need balance, and I think it makes you a better comic if you are balanced doing other things. So it actually
Yeah.
might be the best plan for you is to do, you don't have to just be one thing.
Right.
You're a
And I don't-
multi-dimensional Corey.
I don't know that I value. I value attention. But I don't value the money as
Right.
or like fame necessarily as much as maybe. I don't know. Maybe Bobby does. I don't know.
He
I know
listens
he's
to this, by
nervous
the way.
about. He's nervous about some things this weekend. He's like, career, because he's pretty famous
Right,
and
yeah.
successful and making really good money doing all of this. And for me, it's more like I value the independence and the freedom to make choices for to go to Eastern Washington with my family and spend time
Yeah.
at their place and still live in Seattle.
You've described that to me, and it sounds very nice.
Oh, it's great. So good.
It sounds very nice.
You're welcome to. You can come.
Yeah, now you're getting
Sounds
it.
really great.
What's
That would
funny
be
is-
really, I wish I
What's
could
funny
do
is
something like that.
you leave and then you don't think I'm coming, and then I just show up and I'm just wearing water wings for no reason. And it's like I'm ready.
You would fit
pool?
right. Yeah, you fit right in.
No, I think you're right. I think because you have we're all in this. I think to not work normal day jobs. I mean, that's a big reason why I'm not in it. Like I always say that I want to do this because not to get famous or rich. That could be a cool thing that comes along with it. But I just don't want to work. I worked in an office now, and I know what it's like, and I don't want to do this the rest
Don't
of my
do that.
life.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that for me, I don't know if I can give up the working with kids piece. 20 years of my life at this one school, from 14 years old as a student at the school to now to being a teacher
Graduated
there.
at 18,
Wow.
went right
And
to
I'm
teaching.
Almost. I coached and student taught there. And I've
this
been
isn't
in
legal.
the class.
Mr.
right?
Michaelis, dude, you just graduated.
Yeah, I'll just
Dude,
teach
I
you
got a
taught me
B
last
plus.
year.
It'll be fine.
I mean, I got a sheet. I'm fine.
It's so funny. It's
Where did you go to?
Almost
Where did you
true.
go to school at for teaching?
Seattle Pacific University.
Really?
Yeah.
So you've been in
SPU.
Seattle, this whole area, pretty much the whole time.
Yep,
right?
I lived in Everett my whole life except for college, and 6 months living in New York City.
I didn't know you lived in New York.
Yeah, just for fun, 10 years ago.
Was it great? Was it a blast?
Great. It was really great.
Did you
My
ride the subway?
wife at the time was Subway. Yep. Not the first day. We were very nervous. We walked to Times Square, about 30 blocks, because we were so.
Wow, that's a long
Afraid to
walk.
take this away.
23
I started
or 4, we were
sweating just
afraid to
thinking
Subway.
about it.
Wow.
Oh.
We-
You were
but-
legitimately afraid of people on the subway?
That we'd get lost, we'd go the wrong way, that we didn't know how to do it right, and we knew we were going above ground.
It's like
and
having
we
sex.
We
I'm
didn't
going the
wanna
wrong
go
way.
inside,
Going the
so we
wrong
just
way.
stayed, on
Stayed
the
above
surface.
ground.
We're
We
just
went.
touching butts. I'm going the wrong way.
Well, what's funny is we had, her and I,
Touch
she's
butt for the
great.
first
She's
time?
my great friend. She's not my wife any longer, but she's great. And we had all sorts of things that we
Why are
were
you doing that?
had anxiety and were nervous about.
You just
we
hit topic.
didn't. We didn't have sex till we were married.
Whoa!
Stayed above ground.
How old were you when you got married, actually?
22,
22. Okay.
and she was 23.
And you didn't have sex till 24? 2 years?
Wait, so we got married plus 1 year.
Just 2 years and
Wait,
awkward boners and
There was
anger.
a lot of staying above ground, a lot of
This
staying above ground.
relationship.
We didn't know how to
You
do
didn't have
it.
sex till you were married.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you define sex, but we didn't. We
P
we
and
did
V,
things.
if you
Okay,
will.
Not till we were married.
Nice.
Not till the wedding night.
P and B and J. Did you have peanut butter jelly sandwiches together before?
Anyway, so we.
Yeah, you should derail me. Usually it's her job.
B and B.
We
Notice
had
how he
some
kind
Nutella
of looks at you
before.
like that means it's not going anywhere. That's what that means.
New York. Yes, we lived in New York for 6 months just for fun. That was the edge. She was very much more adventurous than I, and so she's like, "Let's do something like this." And we moved to New York and just had the best time and went to the Comedy Cellar a bunch, and that really kind of prompted me to give it a shot, the comedy thing. 4 years later.
You're like,
gets
thought
it
about those
going.
times 4 years ago. It's kind of weird how you get motivated into it. Like, yeah.
Well, I think you want to do it, and then something like breaks you where you're like, okay, I have to try it, or I'm never gonna do it.
Yeah.
I saw Chelsea Handler live, and I never know if this is like an insult or a compliment, but afterwards I was like, I think I can do that. Like, I think I could do that. But it wasn't until like 2 years after that I actually got on stage.
That's interesting. That's exactly how I feel about the people that come to our school and do the inspirational assemblies.
That's interesting.
Not in a negative way of like, okay, I see what they're doing there. That's what I do in class daily, and the joke piece I do on stage a lot.
Mostly.
I think for 80% of the time I'm on stage. So I think I could do that, and I think that'd be really good. I'd really be good at this. I'm a little nervous about the part about, just like in comedy, probably feeling douchey, because some of them are really very like you have to kind of be
as like a life coach,
yeah.
like
or a motivational speaker.
I know all this stuff about life and how life should be, and I'm like, I'm nervous about that. And then afterwards, the kids come down and want pictures and all that stuff. And I'm like, I don't.
You know,
like,
like
I'm
touching
fine with
kids,
that.
you just like hanging out next to them.
Don't touch
kids. You take a picture.
But I just like
take a picture with Cory. He's like way in the back. Just he's
have
there
you
somewhere.
ever seen those things like the most awkward celebrity pictures, like where like it's these funny things online where it shows like post-concert Britney Spears with the person that really wants a picture, and they're all like the most awkward, like 4 feet away,
Don't touch
not
me.
touching kind of thing.
Looking it up.
I do remember I did like leadership stuff like my senior year, and I do not buy into like we're going to make the world a better place. Like, I'm just very cynical. And so I was there and to take like what I could get out of it, but wasn't going to buy in. And there was this one speaker who, I swear to God, he had just watched him too much, but almost like the cadence, the mannerisms, everything was Dane Cook, and he was very popular at the time, and it drove me nuts. Like, I didn't hear anything he said because of it. I was like, look at this guy. Oh, he sounds like
He's just like,
Right.
kids, you
No
can do
one-
anything. Who shit on the coats?
heckling
Who
him.
shit on the coats? Someone should have like, whoa, sir, can you please?
I don't think you're supposed to say that.
No, but I was like,
Oh man, that's really fun.
No, I think I did improv in college for the sake of like learning to do stand up, and then I did stand up 4 years after because I did improv the whole time. So yeah, it happens like in different waves. I don't know anyone that's people that really jump into it when they're young, like that stick to with it. It seems way harder. I know people say it's better
because it's hard to say something.
You have nothing
you
to
know what I
say
mean?
when
What
you're
are you
16.
talking
Yeah.
about?
I just got my
barely have stuff to
license.
say now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I just got my
Right.
license. Isn't that the worst? So this is a question I have. So when you say like inspirational speaking, what kind is there like a topic that you usually stick to, or?
Yeah. So that's the thing of I've come like the right word for it too. Like motivational speaker makes me cringe.
It does sound creepy and weird.
Is that what? Motivational.
And I don't know if I like
That sounds
inspirational.
creepy.
I don't know, speaker, whatever. But
Right.
so there's so many that I have this sort of vision kind of board thing behind my bed where I post ideas and things I'd like to talk about. And the big ones are like positivity and
You're in the right
things
place, my friend.
right?
In Hugs Mansion.
Because our mind, like this keeps coming up in my life. I coached golf, and it comes up in coaching golf, and it comes up in teaching, and it comes up in what does that mean?
You coach golf?
I did coach golf.
I asked you to help me with golf, and you said maybe, and then you didn't tell me you coached it.
I
It's
don't
because he
know.
doesn't
I'm-
like you, really.
Oh, okay. Let's keep going. Sorry, continue.
Coaching golf amounted to essentially being a van driver.
Right.
for,
My
like,
golf
a
coach in high
chauffeur for
school
the
was
kids.
just.
Well,
kind
it
of
turns
like-
out when I
also a
said
history
golf
teacher,
coach,
so
I
whatever.
meant learning to drive a van. So thanks,
Oh.
Cory.
I can do that. I have my Type 2 driver's license.
Oh.
And it comes up it just comes up in all sorts of stuff, and that's that our mind doesn't do well with do and don't. Like we don't process that very well, but we do understand concepts really well. So like when you think to yourself, don't hit it in the water in golf, and you're focused on water, your mind tells your body what to do essentially, and you're more likely to hit it in the water. And so those kinds of messages that permeate all of your life, I think, are worth talking about.
So what should I say when
And
you're
so
golfing?
One of the big things is, so one of the things you're supposed to do is you're supposed to focus on the furthest point and the highest point, and that you want it where you want to hit the ball, and that's your focus entirely. And then try not to have swing thoughts at all. which
Think
is
nothing
hard.
when you swing.
Right.
And that goes
But-
for like all sports too, probably. Like if I'm going to throw a football to a receiver, I just think of where the receiver's going to be.
Free throw, it's always been like get it as small as you can, so the ring that holds the net that's closest to where you are, if you're kind of pointing at that when you finish your free throw shot, maybe. But also the same kind of idea of like, don't leave it short, don't leave it short, don't leave it short. Your mind's thinking short, short, short. You're more likely to leave it short, and you can't make it.
So I should say, let the big dog eat. Let the big dog eat.
The big dog
would work fine.
the good whoop. No, that's actually it's
I
actually
hit a
very
dog with a golf
interesting
ball.
that you say that, because the reason I had this idea for this podcast was that exact thing.
Is that right?
So my dad always said when I was younger, he'd always say you can't don't, and he just kind of said it because he thought it was funny. But that's like the premise is that your mind doesn't process that negative part. All it sees is the water or whatever.
Yep.
And so I've always really it's hard, honestly, because people aren't taught to that's what it's like. And so I think it is really important for people to focus on positive things, and especially at a young age, really understanding that how much that changes it. I think that's awesome.
I always
great.
say can't is the worst 4-letter word in the English language. And
What
then
about
my
fuck?
idea was
Cunt.
that's my idea. That's my idea. My idea is to have the letter C.
That's great.
An asterisk NT. I'm not gonna do this with kids. On a screen and be like, this is the worst 4-letter word.
Why
Dude,
can't
you
you
make
do
a
it
shirt
straight?
of that
It's
or
funny.
something.
And then
That's
reveal
great.
the A and the apostrophe and have them be like, oh.
This
It'll
word
make-
should
What
never
were
be in
you-
a man's
What were you
vocabulary.
thinking?
Dude, can you?
What were you
that-
thinking?
So you couldn't
Call her
do
a
that
cunt
joke
all
in
you
front
want,
of kids,
doesn't matter.
though?
No.
That's a great joke, though. They
It's
won't know
good.
what's
It's
going
fun.
on.
It's
Would you
good.
ever speak at like colleges? Could you get away with it
Yeah,
there?
I could maybe. I see. That's the thing of like the not like I don't know if it's gonna be high schools, middle schools. I don't know if
Right.
it's gonna be me, the guy that comes in and does.
Funeral
I mean, my
homes?
whole like sort of idea right now is I come in and I do I work. And do a 45-minute presentation, and then stay for the afternoon or go to a different school in the district, and work with some kids on stand-up and help them learn to be creative and maybe pursue that, because there's not many high school kids thinking they can do stand-up.
Right.
And I think that'd be a great thing. And then at night have a show at their school where I, at this point, would have to book it. I wouldn't be able to do it. I could host it and then book it.
And the book people on that show there?
Are you-
Are you trying to get
Who books
some
that
high
again?
school
Oh,
kids?
really? Yeah. Dude,
Who books that?
I'm trying to get some high school boys to play Xbox with. I'm trying to
okay.
get a raid, I'm trying to get a raid group
trying
together.
to get a
That's really
high
funny.
school couple to have sex with?
Invite you to a threesome after the show. Oh boy.
Hey,
We
so
will be
we thought you were
married.
really funny. Can we go
What are you
somewhere?
doing later?
Can we go somewhere that's 18 and over?
No.
Well, anyway, and then that show fund that they can just get money for that and do whatever they want with it. Use it for their school. Use it to pay me for what I just did during the day. And I think that's a pretty good deal for the school.
I think that is a good.
If
deal.
I'm good during the day. If I suck
So
during
what are
the
they
day,
going to do?
terrible
So this is what
deal
you're going to
for
try
the
to do
school.
on your year off? Is what you're going to try to
I'm
do?
going to try and make some of these happen.
Because I thought you were going to
And,
go do some comedy touring.
I will. The comedy will increase a little bit. But
right,
yeah. I mean, I've done comedy for a while, and I'll continue doing comedy. So
Nice.
Well, that's cool. But it'll be interesting. So now I have too many questions about this. So you have done it a few times. You said like the
yeah, I
speaking.
did. Well,
during the-
Marysville Pilchuck invited me to come do comedy, and Marysville Pilchuck is where the shooting was this year. This is the most upbeat, funny podcast ever.
That's keep going. It'll get better.
But they needed, they felt like they needed the kids to laugh, and they have this big day called Tomahawk Day, and they invited me in to do comedy, and I said, yes, but I'm going to use this as an opportunity to kind of try out what I want to talk about. So it was more focused on funny than I think what I actually will be. And they were on board for the funny part. I'm pretty good at making slideshows to match up with what I'm talking about that are funny. One of the things do you guys know who Caillou is? This little Caillou. He's a
Caillou.
cartoon character, bald. Well, this is not going to be funny at all. I don't
No.
know.
No.
Do it
Kids
anyway.
think-
They're like,
Googling
you
it.
look like Cat, because I shaved
I
all
see.
my beard.
Oh,
and
is he from
my-
Dragon Ball Z?
I don't know. It's
No.
PBS.
Okay, that's.
I shaved all my
Oh,
hair
there
and
you
my
go.
sure my
face
kids would
for
know.
the drag
No.
show. And when I came back, they were really creeped out.
I saw
But I
it.
didn't have a beard, which is interesting and
What is
funny.
wrong
In
with you?
reverse, they were like, you look like Caillou. And I was like, what's that? And I looked it up. Caillou.
Oh, see, I was
And,
looking it up.
yeah,
But it still
it's
came up.
sort
I
of
saw a picture of a cartoon kid.
bald little cartoon kid going like this. And anyway, I had a picture of him plus. I said I look like a mix, but I look like Justin Timberlake and Caillou had a baby, which is a hacky comedy joke. But at a high school, I'll do whatever I want.
Dude, no, that's fine.
You
You
know what I'm saying?
gotta break
Like,
the ice.
oh,
Yeah, totally.
That's the other thing about doing these schools. You know, I can say whatever jokes I want or do whatever I want and not feel like I shouldn't say whatever. I'm not
Hack?
stealing stuff, but I can be
Being
a hack,
hacky.
and it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah. No.
And it's because that's not the point. The point is to get them to laugh a little bit, to listen. And so, yeah, that's a big. And then creativity is my other thing that I really want. Creativity, because there's studies that show creativity is a higher predictor of success in life than IQ. And this guy named Daniel Pink, who's amazing, talks about creativity like this. He says it's giving the world something it didn't know it was missing, which I love because that's like what we're trying to do. And for us, it's kind of dick jokes, but creativity is not art.
It's a lot of dick jokes.
It's
Change the world through dick jokes.
Like all these, right? It's all these
Should be
things.
the tagline of our podcast.
Changing the world
the world
through
through
dick
jokes.
and
Okay.
hugs.
And hugs.
And hugs. Don't mix them together.
Hug jokes and dicks. Damn it.
What?
So anyway, those are the two big things that I would positivity or creativity. I have the first one I did. I just was giving it a shot, and I thought like create your fate. I thought that was a funny like little rhymey kind of, because people talk about, well, I'm destined to be whatever, and you kind of create what you want in your life. And then what else did I do? I don't know. I just done lots of little ideas and putting them into a tight package that's going to be marketable to a school. Oh, bullying. There's a good example of anti-bullying is out there. And the whole focus is on the bully and bullying. And I think when you focus on stuff, it expands. And so I think that it should be pro being nice.
Friend.
Being
Nice,
cool,
yeah.
hugging people. And there's a guy, Mike
Hug
Smith,
blood.
who's really pretty good at the speaking part, but great at all the rest. The marketing, the shirts, the whole package.
Is
And
there like
he has a t-shirt to say "Be nice, dude," and I was like, this guy has figured it. Dang it.
Yeah.
Is there
He
like
hasn't cornered the market, but like that's what I'm talking
So
about.
is there like a group, a circle of professional motivational speakers like this?
There's like organizations like, just like for anything. In fact, the guy Bowers, who helps run Morty's in Indianapolis, Bowers,
yeah.
who met him,
I know
he
of
does
him,
this. Yeah, he's on. Like I was looking through the website of all these people, and there he was, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna meet him soon, and we'll have to chat about how this
That's
works
awesome.
out for him.
So is there as much politics and drama as with stand-up
I have
comedy?
no idea. I hope not.
They're
I
like,
hope it's,
he's selling churches like,
No.
be a nice dude. And he's like, I hate Cory Michaelis.
I
I'm
hope
just gonna
there's
get
not
him.
I hope there's not like a hack speaking or whatever like that I'm have to worry
Like he
about. or
like
have
is
to,
all nice, and he gets off stage and he goes out the back door of the gym and he just starts smoking a cigarette. He's like, these fucking kids are the worst.
This green room didn't have anything I asked for.
You even look at my writer. So this is the thing that I got really excited about midway through.
Yes.
Is our positive spin topic. You
Yeah.
know, where we take something, we try to make it positive. I don't know if you listened to the show before. Not that many
I've
people
listened
have,
to
but it's still.
1.5 episodes.
That's
Cool.
good to know.
That's
You know,
pretty good,
that
'cause
extra
they were
half
about
is
you.
great.
Is that what you heard?
Yeah. Well, Andrew talked about me for a long time on a recent episode, so
He talked about Monica.
That was me.
was that? Yeah, you talking about Monica?
Ah, you've been outed. You do it to yourself, and you don't really
Wow,
care.
well, there it went.
Banging
Take
cougars.
that. Went.
Whatever.
But we're the positive spin type. So we take something
What are you
that
doing?
can be foreseen as negative,
Yes.
and turn it to positive.
Like divorce?
Yeah, but this
Well-
time we're doing
Oh.
marriage.
Oh.
And we can include divorce in
marriage
it.
can seem.
But yeah,
Actually,
I'm sure divorce
might
will
be
come
better,
up.
actually, because
No?
divorce is more because people like it's. I know I like in my pessimistic ways can
Yeah.
see marriage as a negative,
Right.
Right.
but
And
some
I
people-
might currently. I don't know how I feel about marriage.
You know how you feel about it now?
Well, let's find
Not
out.
too-
But let's delve right into it.
Okay.
So, what do you think? Well, what do you want to start with, marriage or divorce? What do you
Let's
think?
talk about. Let's talk. This is my kind of
marriage,
like
because you
my
got married.
story a
You got
little bit.
married really young.
really young. So I
22.
I
That's when you
married
had
my
sex
high school
also.
sweetheart, and we
Immediately after that.
She didn't marry hers.
yeah. And hers
Bada bing, hers.
hers was the PE teacher. So
Oh no!
just kidding.
We don't want
Wait,
no
is that
drama.
real?
So we
History's
we
for
were,
nerds.
We were best friends, and like I said,
Still happen with teachers.
what she said?
He's like the jock, like the PE teacher's the jock. He's like, why don't you go read a book, nerd?
Whoa, talk about Thomas
Uh,
Jefferson.
one of the jokes I used to do, and I don't know what, it never really worked, but I always would just be like, people would be like, so what do you do now? Like people from high school, I'd be like, I do stand-up comedy, and they're like, really? Are you? You? And I'd be like, well, I mean, and they're like, that's all you do? And I was like, no, I also teach high school history. And they're like, that's more like it.
Yeah.
Yep, that seems about right.
Seems okay.
That's it. So you get married
so
really young.
we were dated in high school and stayed together through college, and then got married, and we were best friends, and just like that's kind of what we thought you're supposed to do. You marry a best friend, right? And
That's what they always say in the speeches anyway.
right, I'm not gonna say it in mine.
Marry my best friend.
Don't marry
I am gonna-
She's secretly a bitch.
I
Don't
did-
marry her.
I did tease them at the last at Marysville. I did tease them a bit about. I said that joke about marrying my high school sweetheart, and I talked about how the person you're sitting to next to right now like might, and they were like,
Scooting over.
So we built a great best friendship, and it was great, and we got along. We didn't argue, and if for all intents and purposes it was perfect. Like a lot of people thought we were a great story of high school sweethearts, and I teach at the high school where I went to high school, and she's working on owning her own business, and we're trying to wait till we get all that in order to do the kid thing, and our parents are both still together, and we get along with family, everything great. But we just weren't like passionately attracted to each other, and we didn't know
It
it.
wasn't
'cause we had
romance.
nothing to compare it to.
Like, what, you guys romantic, though? You go on
Yeah,
dates?
no, I mean sweet. Like
Make kissy faces?
Yeah, like we were. I don't know.
Call each other
Is that
snuggle
romantic?
tits and stuff.
Boo.
Is that
Snuggle
romantic?
tits. We.
That's why I'm single.
I think that
I call
as
my
far
boyfriend
as
snuggle tits.
we were concerned, it was, we were relatively affectionate, and then as we, probably late 20s, we approaching 30, we sort of realized, oh man, we're just best friends, and we kind of always have been, and that's great, but I think we both want more than that, and so we gave that a shot. We with each other, like tried to sort of make that happen or focus on that more, and
On
for a
loving
little
each
while.
other? Lovey-doveyness?
Banging more and stuff. Or
Go to the bone zone more often? Public
That was-
places?
and it wasn't even
Like
Did you call her
libraries or
snuggle
planes?
tits? 'Cause,
it wasn't even
libraries-
more often or anything. It was just sort of like I don't
So
even
the
know
two
how to
public
describe
places.
it, but no, not public. Well, all right. Anyway,
Cars?
I'm having a hard time. So I'll be much more interested in talking about
The divorce
current
part?
or most or recent things I've been doing sexually than with her. It's uncomfortable. And
Yeah, I'm grossed out just thinking about it.
anyway, so she and I decided to high five and move on. Easiest divorce in history.
Really?
Split our stuff on our own. Actually waited a while to even file the divorce thing because we weren't in any hurry.
It sometimes takes a while, though, doesn't it? My brother.
It has to take 3 months.
It has
and
to.
ours was like 89 days.
Is
on
that the court's
dot.
time to be like, you guys
Wow.
need to talk this out?
I think it's something like that. From the time you file to the time you actually it gets seen and approved, is like a minimum 90 days, either in Washington or in I don't know. We didn't. It was honestly the easiest. And
Are you still
cheapest
friends?
thing.
Well, this
Yeah,
is
we
not what I wanted.
Talk all the time.
You should tell me my marriage sucks. That's what I wanted to hear.
Well, it was not. Okay, we do talk all the time. We're good friends and text and talk all the time, and then hang out every few weeks for a few hours and just get caught up. And
You
don't
Dad
kiss
just
anymore?
Came over. We do not smooch. We
Sex and
we
libraries?
side hug.
Side hug?
Side
That's
hug?
good.
Yep, she's
Dude, a lot of
she's
people
living
side hug
with,
me.
she's living with a guy who she's in love with, and so
Gross.
she sort of found what she was looking for, and
Ew,
that's
let's
great.
talk about how bad that is.
And I don't live
No,
with.
it's good.
Well, I do live with ladies, but not a lady I date, just a lady I rent my home to. And then
You live in your
in the
back.
mother-in-law unit in the back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're now a mother-in-law.
With no bathroom
You're
or kitchen
now a
in the
mo-
mother-in-law.
When you get
but
divorced, you become a
You become a
mother-in-law.
mother-in-law.
That is actually
That's
how
how it
that
works.
family
That's how
math.
It's
families
the
say.
worst, so stay married, everybody. That's why you stay married.
Well, that's good that you're happy. So then this
Yeah.
this
I thought you
that
said
seemed a
humping,
little
and I was
bit-
like, nope.
That's now you're humping in your mother-in-law house.
No, so we get along great. Her dad and her parents and I get along great still. He just came over and helped me do some things at my place, and he's a handy guy. And but getting married young was a very poor decision. And when I meet young people, when I say anybody younger than 30 that is adamant about getting married, to somebody or to the person they're with, I don't necessarily question them because I'm not an asshole, but I just wonder.
I question the
This
shit out of
bitch,
you.
really?
Hey,
know if you,
you're someone I know, and you're getting married soon. I'm questioning the shit out of you.
in my mind.
I
In
questioned
my
my
mind,
I don't say
parents the
anything.
other day.
I'm judging the crap
On
out
their
of you.
27th
Sure
wedding
was.
anniversary.
Stay
I said,
in this.
how long did you guys live together before you got married? And she was like, I don't know, like a year or two. And I was like, don't you think you're rushed into
That's
this a little
hilarious.
bit?
That's
She
the
starts
product
thinking
of your
about it
marriage.
over whiskey. She's
Yeah,
like,
good.
maybe.
The product of your marriage is judging your marriage.
But I,
Wasn't even that. I was
it's the thing is like we had all the things that everybody thinks, almost all the things people think you are supposed to have. Like, yeah,
House.
great. Well, we actually think
Check.
that passion, like, there's some passion in arguing and disagreeing, and so there was some of that was missing. And
There was no fighting in your marriage?
No, none. We built our whole.
best
world
What if you guys
together.
played like
We
board
were
games? Would you get mad at each
17.
other?
Nah, I don't care.
No?
About
Holy fuck. We used to fight so much. Damn it, I was in love with him.
that.
Like, I'm not fucking playing
Oh,
Monopoly
no.
again, okay?
I want the thimble.
I'm
both
mad
pretty
about it
laid
still.
back, too, I think. I mean, a certain amount of that was avoiding it too. So I mean, it wasn't all because we agreed on everything, but we did build our whole worldview together because we were 16 when we met. So we agreed on everything because we built it together. We experienced the world together. So, so now I'm not married.
Yeah, I'm not married.
And you're just out there playing the field, big fish in a small pond.
For 2 years I've been single for 2 years. Not since I was at 33 I became single, and for the first time in my life,
Just banging it
and
out.
hadn't slept with anybody other
Bang
than
out all
my
those
ex-wife
feelings.
or my wife, and then
You started a sexual renaissance. That's where you paint
This
pictures
is
of people
not where I
having
wanted
sex.
this to go, but if you have all these questions, Mike's like leaned in, like, tell me about
Uh,
the humping.
No, I enjoyed that. It was only actually like 6 months until I got a girlfriend, which she and I are still good friends and talk all the time.
You're just such
We
a
just,
positive catch. You stay friends with the people you
Positive
break up
catch.
with.
He's not a great catch, but he's
There
a
may be-
positive catch.
There may be something, but you know what? There may be something to that not being the best. I don't know. Maybe there's
You
something
think you
to
shouldn't
like
be with
having
someone
more.
when, like, after you break up with
I
someone,
don't
you should end it?
I don't necessarily know that. I know that maybe maybe I am missing out in some ways on like
You should just fight
ability
with
to
bitches
love
more.
and passion and like
Call them bitches. That helps.
Don't listen to
and
Andrew Rivers.
standing
Don't
up
do
for
that.
the things that I really believe in, and I've gotten so much better at that.
So
being
do you
like,
think-
no, these are deal breakers, and this is what I want, and it's
Do you feel like you're like living the time in your 20s now that you missed out on?
Yeah, definitely was. Am I right now? I don't know, but I definitely did for 2 years. I definitely lived that time where people
I think you needed
did
to.
things and like met people and dated
Yeah.
and had sex and
Partied all the time.
And that's the other thing is this is funny is I was talking to a comic friend about this. The comedy world sees me do comedy and maybe hang out with ladies and maybe have a drink or two, which I don't really drink to drunkenness that often. But I think there's a perception that maybe that's some, but they don't know that they don't see me working, 40 hours a week teaching high school, and they don't see me hanging out with my parents and going over, they only see that world of me. And so I think there's a perception by comedians that, oh, Cory is out.
Well, they don't fucking
I
matter
don't
anyway.
see that, but
They don't matter.
Dream about it. I just dream about your
I only
life.
see it in
I
the
think
night.
about but this is the thing though, because I always
Which is
thought
fine. I don't
even-
mind that. I just know that I just don't. I know that it can come off as obnoxious to
I
some.
don't. I don't think so. I think
sure.
married before, because I knew you when you were married. I knew you when you're divorced,
Right.
and both times you've always seemed like you've had your life together,
That's good.
which
That's
is something
nice.
that a lot of comedians cannot say for themselves.
Maybe
Yeah,
that's
a
the
lot of
annoying
people
part.
that are married
Maybe
can't
that's
say
the-
that for
Because like you've
themselves.
had like you've had like it's weird because I thought like usually people have a divorce and they're like extremely unstable and there's a
Right.
long run, but you seemed like the happiest dude in the world, and it was
well,
good because you seemed like
it
a
sounds
better.
like your divorce is a lot different.
It's
than
better for
other
you.
people.
Like,
Yeah,
it's good
very
for
different.
you.
That's why it is because it was a positive, not because I was so happy to be rid of that.
Yeah, but like
Not
this
at
is what
all.
you needed, and you,
But
and
yeah.
you both knew that, so
Yep.
that's what made
And
it
it's
beautiful.
been it's been great for both of us. She's really found, I think, a great job that she loves and a guy that she loves and lives with, and then I've been able to have the independence and freedom I've needed to really, like I just said today, I've decided that I'm taking a year off from teaching, and I could not do that as a married person. I couldn't do as much comedy, and it wasn't holding me back. I remember those nights sitting on the couch watching TV and enjoying them very much. But it's not what I do anymore.
Yeah. Well, and it
Yeah, you're
seems
getting out
like
there.
It's different.
you should be, I mean, just listening to you talk about it, you should be a little bit more passionate about, you know what I mean? Like people who have bad divorces, it is because that person, they're passionate about that
Right.
person. So then it was like, oh, and that motherfucker.
Right.
Which
right.
is what I hear
exactly.
a lot.
Exactly.
Like
And-
my mom's divorced and they still don't talk to each other.
Right.
It's been like 30 years.
And that was so.
They have a
it
kid.
was so. Yeah. It was so.
The mosh.
Passionate.
The mosh.
It was so deeply ingrained, and there was probably extreme attraction at times, and all those kinds of things, which is causing to be like, I can't go
Right.
there with that person.
Yeah.
And for us, it's like we were just best friends. We had a successful marriage that ended, is what we kind of say, and it served a great purpose for
Well,
our
now
lives.
you're making it not
and-
sound that bad, okay?
But
Monica's gonna get married next
we
week.
were not
Damn it.
like, but
I have an
I
offer
don't-
on the table. I'm trying to decide, okay?
we don't. Who want? I don't know
Being
that
a
you.
couple. No, I'm just kidding.
Why not just be best friends? Like, why we could have just been best friends
Right.
for all that time.
Well, I get that a lot because I have a
And-
lot of male best friends, and
Mhm.
so people are like, "Oh, why don't you guys date? Why don't you guys do that?" And I'm like, "I don't," because it
And
won't
then
work.
you're like,
That's
'Cause
not,
Mike's
like,
hideous.
I'm not. And then I'm like, "Get that Coke can out of your tits."
And I'm like,
okay?
come on, Monica,
Isn't this hot?
it's got a ring pop in it.
But that's the difference. And honestly, I think I'm attracted to men that I argue with, or just like somebody asked me the other day. They
Just
said,
have a
"What
little
is
tension.
what is your type?" And I said, "Oh, probably someone who treats me poorly." I don't know. And he was really confused by that. But I was like, "It's not." I don't know. I don't know.
But that's
I'm
where I
broken
think that's where it's
also.
pretty cool.
Love's
to
a mysterious
find,
thing.
that balance. I feel like there will be that balance of someone. There's tension, and there's like they really challenge you on things, and that's attractive. And then, but also they're sweet to you, and they treat you well. And we were sweet to each other and treated each other well, but just no tension.
it was almost too stable.
That's
You're saying
interesting.
like it's too.
It didn't.
Do you think you could have
there's
lived the
this
rest of
thing-
your life that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you guys. But did she come up with a realization too that you guys, or did you kind of tell? Like,
Yeah,
did
how
you
did
go
you
first, or
both
did she go
figure
first?
that out?
Usual, but I think she realized it before me and didn't. We had so much social and friend and family pressure that existed but wasn't like overt because we never spoke about any issues and we didn't really think we had any. I think she realized before me and then was pretty brave to, because I mean, I don't want to make it sound perfect, but like it is a very interesting story of living in the town where you went to high school and I teach at that high
Right,
school
yeah.
and she owns her own business and we see my family all the time and we see her family every Sunday night. Had dinner with her family and every summer went to Butte, Montana to visit her family, and it was Cory and Aubrey were the epitome for a lot of people of what a couple should be like, and so there's all this pressure from us to be like, well, we gotta
Right.
continue
live
this.
it.
We gotta
We're
live
Perfect.
it,
This
live
is
it,
right.
this.
They told us.
Show 'em how it's done.
And we also didn't think it was, and then I think she realized before me, and for a number of reasons, she realized before me, and then we just started to kind of talk about it, and yeah, like I said, like for probably a year and a half, we were like, let's try and get that, and there were times during that year and a half where it felt kind of pretty passionate, and there was attraction, but in the end of that, we were like, nah, we don't. And so then she lived with me for 8 months. As she looked for a job, and she found a great job, and she moved out. And
honestly.
So even the best parts of marriage are bad. Is that what you're
That's
saying?
right.
Okay.
There you go.
Got it.
We got
Figured
to
out.
it.
There
We
it
turned
was.
it
Okay.
all
I see
the
what you were
way
saying that
around.
whole
Looking for.
time.
You didn't find someone who's like, marriage is the worst. You found someone who's like, marriage is great, and you shouldn't do it still.
Right, yeah, there it is. No, so would you get married again if
That's
you
sort
found
of what we were
somebody?
saying earlier. I can't say I wouldn't for sure. Right now, I don't see myself doing that anytime soon. She and I actually talk a lot about how I almost would rather not have the government and the paperwork and all that stuff
That's
involved.
my excuse.
For the reason that I want, if that person wakes up, now I know about trying to make things work and stuff like that. But if that person knows they don't want to be with me, I think people know stuff like that. I don't want them hanging around because of
Paperwork.
kids or paperwork
Right.
or
Yeah,
government
yeah.
or whatever. I want them to be able to make that decision to go ahead and leave, and people break up, and it's okay. Marriage is an institution, and the history of it, I'm not totally on board with that stuff.
Right.
I went to Christian college, and I was involved in that world for a long time. I was really involved in Young Life, and still think it's great. But the belief that marriage is between two people who love each other, and that's the way it's always been, two people of the opposite sex who love each other, and that's always the way it's been, is just historically completely
I was watching some
inaccurate, not even
documentaries.
close.
Wrong finger now. Used to be the other finger. Did you know that?
Right.
The right finger?
Yeah.
Well, the
Right
history,
ring finger?
the history of
Yeah.
rings, the history of rings and
Right.
De Beers, and how there's a College Humor, I think, or a Funny or Die video. It's very, very funny about making fun of that, but it's pretty smart too. It's like that's a little bit of a racket. Now, try and get your future wife to not want a diamond ring. Good luck, but it is a bit of a racket because diamonds aren't even that rare.
And they're not even forever. They'll break down eventually.
No breakdown, just like people.
But I don't like.
Anyway,
I went to a wedding one time at this super church in Pullman. It's like Church of Miss Prime, like one of those big giant
Church
places.
of Miss Prime.
And
How long you been waiting to say that?
no, we used to say it all the time. We used to call it Church of Miss Prime, Churchosaurus Rex, the
you
Costco
should've
of
just
Jesus.
said it was your
yeah,
right now.
No, it's not
They're
a joke.
not here.
Oh.
But I went
It's
to
not
this
a
wedding.
joke. It's really what
I'm
we
laughing.
like. Yeah, what?
But I went to
Get on
I
with
went to the wedding there, and in the vows it said to the groom, it's something involve cleaving your wife. Like the verb cleave, like which is like an axe hitting, and I'm like, the fuck is this? Like
You
that's
gotta
what I was
say,
kind of like. Marriage
in all
seems
these
weird.
other marriages, have they asked that specific question? Because he's been holding out. He's like, I won't hit her, but I will cleave that
And
bitch.
some guy at the
It's in
wedding,
the vows.
It's in the
some guy said at the wedding, like referred to her as a piece of jewelry, and he needs to polish her. Everyone, I'm like, this is just fucking. This is some really weird sexist
That
undertone,
is
like
super-
misogynistic undertones here that I
Yes.
don't like in a marriage. I'm like, why do you like that? Like that's so.
And the introduction, there's less and less of this, but the introduction of them as Mr. and Mrs. Cory Michaelis.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
That's gross.
She doesn't have a name anymore.
And, right.
That's what
she
we're
just loses
telling
her
you.
name. Her last name and her first at this point. So the marriage as an
Mrs.
institution to
Cory.
me is like, ugh, I'm shaky on it in general. But I think you just speak about it with the person and have exclusive commitment that you want
Right.
to be maybe forever, but for sure for now.
You know who's a baller like
And,
that?
make that happen.
John Hamm is a baller like that.
Oh, is that right?
Madman's John Hamm. He's been in the same relationship with the girl for like 20 years, I think, or something like that. They're never getting married. He's like, we just love each other, and we don't have to get it into it.
Damn
Like
it.
that's so
Yeah,
good.
and Oprah. So she does.
Oprah does that too.
Her and
Yeah,
Stedman
he's
aren't
got his
married.
own house.
Really?
Yeah.
They maintain some significant
It just makes things more
independence and-
complicated.
I mean, it
And he
might.
could take all her money. She knows what she's doing.
Yo, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
that is a thing. That is a
I'm
thing.
kidding.
If you live together, apparently, with a person for 7 years together, it's like common law marriage. And
Yeah.
then they
Right.
are entitled. I didn't know about this until
Duh.
like 3 months ago.
You didn't know that?
No.
I know
So
about
because
common
you
law
and
marriage,
PJ
I
are
didn't
going to
know
be...
what-
No.
Yeah, Pajama Party and I are gonna get common law married. He doesn't know it yet. That's my roommate.
I'm gonna
He
take
left.
all his TVs.
He left right
I
now, or he
want your
left?
big screen TV, PJ.
I have always made that argument, and people, whatever, just can think what they want of me. But I don't like the institution of marriage. I think it's a weird thing, and I wrote a paper about it in college.
That's interesting.
Just that it just all seems, and relationships in general, sometimes to me seem like you're giving up as a woman a lot of yourself, and then he is in control, or it's something you're just putting on a show for other people, really is what it felt like, instead of it being about the two of you.
Right.
And I did live with someone for a while, and that in my head was like, oh, we're going to settle down. This is how this is supposed to be, and blah, blah, blah. And then on the inside of it, like it was, well, one, it was really unhealthy, but also everyone else was like, well, you've been together for so long and you live together. What's next? And I'm like, oh, we try to murder each other in the middle of the night and then I move out. That's what's next.
That's a really. Have you ever said that on stage? That's really funny. Well,
in bits.
we had the pressure for kids. Like there was kid pressure for sure. And I mean, now, like how great is it that we did not?
Yeah.
And even that even that sentence would make some people like, it's like, no, it was great that we did not have kids.
Right.
And it was a choice, and we're both very glad we made that choice. And I'm inarguably really good with kids. Like, so it's not a thing of like,
I wasn't going to
be a good dad or don't want to work with kids or anything like that or have kids. It's just we knew better. I think deep down we kind of knew better for other reasons, but we also had the focus of her owning a business and then me starting comedy made it be like, ooh, well, maybe this is a thing I could eventually do. But yeah, that makes them uncomfortable to hear about, makes some people uncomfortable to hear about stories that don't fit the status quo or don't fit the typical, and it's working. That makes them like, so you're doing it this way and it's working for you. You don't have 3 dogs
but what
and 2
about
cats
kids?
And you aren't about to have kids and you don't own a home and you don't like, but that's not the way you're supposed to do it. And there isn't a supposed to. And this idea that there's all these years of human history and 7 billion plus people in the world right now, and a very small percentage of them do it the way we describe in America is the right way. Very small percentage. And in America, half of those people stop doing it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Everyone get divorced. We actually we hit an hour right now.
No way.
We've had a lot of serious conversation. Yeah, it's great. We're not doing the quiz. I'm fine with it. I've pulled up a charity that I like.
Okay, good. Let's
Has
go
this
with
been
that
funny?
one.
It's fine not to be funny. This is the thing. It's supposed to be positive.
There was
the name of this podcast will
really
be
like
C*NT. That's gonna be the name of this podcast.
Yes.
I like that.
So that's gonna be the name of it.
Right.
The other idea I had was don't hit the water was the other idea I had for it. But C*NT
like
is gonna
that.
be funny.
Which is great.
Can I
should
before
sell
you do
shirts
you hit
like
it and as an hour, like, is that a hard fast thing?
Well, it's
No,
not,
you
it's not
can-
a hard
Plug
fast
one
thing.
more thing.
Yeah, do you want?
Oh, no,
you
we still got
it's
time.
funny
You got
and
plug.
fun.
You got plug time. You got plug time.
This
for
is
sure.
it might turn into it'll probably turn into a conversation though. So I did yesterday or recently, not yesterday. I don't know what I say.
Got that comedy brain.
Truth or yeah. So yesterday,
The other day.
Yesterday I turned 21. Yeah.
I recorded with an ex. Girlfriend. We hung out a bunch. Truth or drink. Have you guys seen Grandma Smoking Pot?
Yes.
So those guys live in Seattle that created that video. Very, very funny video.
It's
20
hilarious.
plus million views.
So funny.
They also created Truth or Drink, which is a series of videos where you sit at a table like this and have a bunch of cards that they've written questions on. And the first episode, I think, was with couples that are currently together. And they would read the question. If they did not want to answer it, they would take a shot. And it's very, very funny. So check that out. And then the next episode was parents and their kid that's over 21. And they would do Truth or Drink where they read a card. And so I filmed that recently so it's going to be released soon is why. With a ex-girlfriend, I guess. And she's very fun. I chose her for a specific reason because I knew it wouldn't be hurtful or hard or difficult or nobody be angry or upset about any of the questions. And it was the most fun at 11 a.m. on a Sunday.
Best time to be drunk.
And we were answering everything. So they had to be like, hey, you guys want to just take a drink for fun? And we're like, all right. So we were taking shots just to kind of... so that will release... Cut Video is the name of the YouTube channel, and Truth or Drink Ex Couples Edition will be coming out.
That's
Nice,
hilarious. That's
exciting,
awesome.
yeah.
I'm excited to see it.
It was really fun.
Do you have any charities you want to plug?
Yeah, so I teach AVID. It's not really
you
a
told me about
charity. It stands for Advancement via Individual Determination, and at Cascade High School So
Gotta say it pops up and
if-
autofills into Google, so that's pretty cool.
it's probably the program called Avid. I bet you.
It's avid.org.
Oh, you go into .org. Good. Yeah, that's it.
Is that right?
Uh huh. And it's not really a charity, so that's just what I do. But the kids at Cascade High School that I teach could, and what it is for first generation college goers who might be poor, who might be of color, who might have a special circumstance at home, like they take care of their brother and sister after school every day. I have a young girl who lives out of the district, Latina girl who takes care of her brother and sister after school every day and has a 3.9 in chemistry,
Holy shit.
pre-calculus.
Can you
AP
stop making
Spanish
us look really bad for a
as
second?
sophomores.
They're making me tingly.
So
work.
so she's great, and they're all great, and they could use. And then I've always been involved in Young Life, which is an outreach group for high school kids that is Christian, but pretty very laid back, and as far as Christianity stuff goes, pretty forward thinking and progressive.
Acoustic guitars? No acoustic guitars.
Acoustic guitars.
Okay.
Lots of
I just
acoustic
want to
many
see where we're
acoustic
at.
guitars.
Just want to see where we're at.
Phenomenal camps
orchestra.
that kids go to every summer that are amazing. And even though I don't know that I would describe myself as Christian any longer because I don't know about Jesus. I don't know if he's just a really awesome guy or if
Jesus,
he
what are you
is
doing?
I don't know if he
Son of
knows
God.
anymore. That's it.
And I love to teach about religion in my history classes because you got to kind of know about, especially, the three
And
monotheistic
race.
religions. I do. Yes, that's true.
One of the most interesting classes I ever took in college was this general education class, and they went through religions that were not typically taught. Because
that's
you have
cool.
Islam, you have
Yep.
Christianity,
Judaism,
and then
Christianity,
Judaism.
the
Those are the big
monotheistic,
three.
yep.
But then they talked about ones that I had never even, like Zoroastrianism, which I had never heard of. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's a great class.
I think that's great.
It's very interesting.
When we talked about
I
maybe
recommend
having
it.
kids, my ex and I said, well, let's just every week let's go to a different thing, a different church or a different thing, and
That's
just
cool.
check out a different thing. And what's interesting is people think Muslims like hate Jesus or whatever. Some people think that, but he's like
Hey,
he's like the
Jesus.
second to last prophet, and they think he's great. They think he's amazing. They just don't think he's the son of God, and they might be right. I don't know. So anyway, but I still support Young Life, and I think it's a great organization, and it is very much Jesus focused. But the kids that go know that, and then those
just
two things.
surprising them. They know that.
But it's
Where did
very
Jesus
Well,
come
it's
from?
getting really
it's
Jesus in
where I
here.
really developed so I did talks and I did characters. We call them walk-on characters like FedEx man and UPS man. We would both walk on in our outfits and be funny, and I'd come on and I'd say I'm fed up because FedEx UPS up is very very funny, and
Very, very funny.
and we hated each other
It is.
because we
It's
were
very funny.
he was my nemesis, and
that makes
he was
sense.
like this good looking dude, and I was this skinny guy with fake teeth in and a wig, and it was very fun. So that's where I developed my sort of ability to be on stage. Like I would have told you at 16 I would never speak in front of groups for my
Right.
life's
I used
work
to
or
say
whatever.
that too.
And this is what I tell kids all the time too, because they think that. And now my job is to speak in front of kids, 150 kids every day, and then my other job is to speak in front of strangers. So we don't know, we don't know when we're 15, 16, 17 what we potentially could be good at. So anyway, Young Life is where I developed a lot of that
Young Life,
ability to.
Avid.
And
Young
Avid.
Life?
Good one.
Avid.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm going to do my charity, but you,
Yes.
you talked way more about yours.
Oh,
It's fine. It's
okay,
fine. It just
okay.
makes me look really bad. The my charity. we get really competitive about charities on the podcast. Oh, I can't believe you did that.
Do you guys do a different one every?
We do a different one every. Yeah, we
Ah,
try to
cool.
find some. This one I'm
Yeah.
doing is one I've heard of before, and I've seen commercials for it all the time. I'm a big Mariner fan. It's the Moyer Foundation.
Oh, yeah,
Jamie
yeah.
Moyers, giving hope to children
That's a
experiencing
good
grief
one.
and family addiction, and I really like this.
Oh, yeah,
and
it was on
this
the
was
list.
it was on the list you gave me.
I was
and
like,
it
I read
was
that today. Why?
also mentioned on the Rutledge's podcast, our sister podcast. Can we call them our sister
Ooh,
podcast?
I hope so. We're doing it.
Does
We're doing it now.
Sister
I don't know.
podcast. It
Okay.
means
It means we're
we
related.
acknowledge each other.
It means that
Sisters
we're making
do that.
ourselves related.
She's alive. Whatever.
We're that sister that we call once a month. But she.
Wait, Christy Rutledge and you are sisters, Monica? This is,
What?
Yes.
No, Gabe and I are sisters.
Yes.
Soul sisters.
that's
That's
her
stupid.
first name, right?
Christy. Yeah.
Christy. Yeah, Christy.
Good.
Yep. She listens
Yeah.
to this too, so now she's gonna know you didn't know her first name. Roasted.
No, I did know it.
That's it. They
That's the
listen
point.
together,
I just
and then our
got-
moms. So now you
I
got a
got
bunch of new
scared for a
fans.
second. Do your moms do a podcast together?
If they
Oh.
did,
Ham
I
Jack?
would listen every
Would that be your
week.
sister podcast or your
Mother podcast.
Mother podcast.
Parent podcast, mother.
It just has
It'd
the
be my mommy
alliteration.
cast.
Mommy cast.
Mommy cast. No.
Momcast.
Yeah, but Gabe and I are sisters. The Moyer Foundation. It's our mission to provide comfort, hope, and healing to children affected by loss and family addiction. And I really think it's like we haven't done that yet as a thing, but they've mentioned that on the Rutledge
That's great.
podcast.
I was in Denver, and we went to Rockies, the stadium, the Coors Stadium, and in the front, I can't remember what the guy's name is, but they have a statue, and they give away an award, whatever, for like the service, basically like
Humanitarian
service
award or
award,
whatever,
and
yep.
Jamie Moyer won in 2004, and I was like, take a picture with my face next to
Jamie
this.
Moyer. Yeah. Dude, this might be our longest podcast ever.
That's okay.
It's fine though. It's totally
Long
fine. We
winded.
do have to sign off soon though, because it's
Okay.
about a megabyte issue. It's a size issue.
Wow. Okay. You know what? You're
Breaks up
making
a-
it worse
breaks up
at
a lot
this
of-
point.
Breaks up a lot of marriages too. Size issues.
Size issues.
They call them megabyte issues.
Megabyte issues.
It's
Always
more like
been
a
more like a
megabyte.
mini byte,
Ooh.
right?
When in doubt, leave on a dick
More
joke.
than a gigabyte.
Oh, doesn't he? She does.
Seattle.
Just you?
What?
Just you do a charity? Not you.
Oh,
Oh,
we
we
do-
just
we
pick one.
go back
Ah,
and
I
forth.
see.
Yeah, we
As
pick
a
one
group.
between us. Yeah,
And we
and then we
ask
have
the
a guest
guest.
ask their charities, and you did a very good job.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Don't forget to come to the Super Secret Stand Up Show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please. I'm excited.
And
Okay.
everything Andrew Rivers said about me is totally true.
What was it like? You're so tight.
Oh my god! Did he say?
Yeah, he did, and we're ending on that.